Because I believe men are the most underrated people group in society. They work hard, they carry the weight of their families, and very, very seldom do they get the appreciation that they really deserve. And the other reason why I'm doing this conference is because I believe that men are hurting. I talk to men all over, and they're just hurting. They feel like they're not understood. They feel like they're not getting the answers they need in life. And some of them really have been hurt right within their homes. But of course, to be a man, you can't express that. It's almost like a sign of weakness. That's what we've been taught. And so a lot of men kind of inwardly hold that hurt. And I believe this conference is going to be a place where they can come and just open up and just receive healing. So the conference really is focusing on restoring a man's vision, his value, and his voice. One of the things that men are going to get, I believe, is first of all the strength that comes in fellowshipping with other men. But this conference is going to be fully loaded. We're going to have workshops, we're going to have services, and we're just going to really just have a time to empower men in the areas of fitness, in the areas of finances. We're going to deal with fatherhood, especially those men that have been estranged from their children. You know, what does a man do when he's a father, but he's away from his children? We're going to deal with all of that in fatherhood. And then we're going to deal with, of course, the big issue, public enemy number one to men, is dealing with lust. You know, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with the sexual lust and how men can avoid that from destroying their relationships and destroying their families. It's going to be power-packed. Great teaching, great panel discussions, talking about even some spiritual things with spiritual fathers and spiritual sons. You know, there's just such confusion even with that going on. We're going to bring a lot of clarity in this conference for men. And I'm encouraging men to come from everywhere. And they are coming from everywhere. They have already registered from Florida. They've registered from New York, St. Louis, of course, Maryland, DC. So it's going to be a very power-packed conference. So they're going to come away really not only just being healed, but also getting some tools that they need in order to be a great man in society. Well, you know, I shied away from this a long time. I'm a man who has been broken. I know what it is to lose a marriage and to have a family broken up, something I never anticipated in my own life. So I can relate to those men that are struggling with, that have gone through divorce, that have gone through some family breakup. But I can also tell them how God can restore all that back to you. How God could put love back in your life, how God can restore the ministry, the business, because I've experienced it, I walked through it. What a lot of men do is that they give up. And I can tell men to dream again, because that's what Dr. Ken is all about. Legacy is everything. Legacy is the gift that God gave to every human being, the ability to be able to establish something not only for their children, but for the next generation. And for men, that's everything. You know, a lot of men have lost their legacy or lost what I call a legacy consciousness. And when you don't have a legacy consciousness, you know, you do things not really thinking about how it's going to impact your future. We're going to instill, we believe, a legacy conscious back in the men so they can understand that they are the ones responsible for building that legacy, for leaving that inheritance for their children. And we're going to show them how to do it. I'm encouraging pastors, the spiritual leaders, leaders of men groups to bring men. Pastors should bring their men, because this is not a Dr. Ken or this is not a Sons of Consecration thing. This is all about the men coming together. Listen, the problem we have with men today is going to take more than one church. It's going to take several different churches, men groups, and networks coming together. Listen, one church cannot solve this men problem. We need all the pastors, all the spiritual leaders come together, bring your men, And it's something about when men come together, we bring a sense of empowerment. And that's what the Legacy Conference is going to do for men.